My name's Sharon. I've worked at Caterpillar Peterlee, where we manufacture articulated trucks for 2 years now. So my current role is senior training consultant. So I write and deliver training workshops like emotional intelligence, coaching, communication skills, as well as managing the business ambassador program. But prior to this, my background has been 18 years in secondary education. As a Caterpillar employee, I always have to start with this slide just to say that employee safety comes first, and obviously quality and values are at the heart of Caterpillar, so we treat each other with respect and dignity at all times. So just to give you a bit of background, Caterpillar Corporate work very hard to make sure that we give back to the local communities around each site, which obviously is especially important in areas of social deprivation. And our local area around Peterlee, we're talking about 3 generations of unemployment. So the children there often have a complete lack of aspiration and inspiration with regard to careers. So that's one of the targets behind it. But Caterpillar also wish to create a resilient local community. So they want to engage with as many children and young people as possible, not only to inspire them, but help them become work ready, because they're not likely to be getting that support at home. Caterpillar are also very invested in developing and creating an engaged workforce, and I think the idea that staff feel valued and happy at work, it generates a much more motivated team, and the Business Ambassador Programme really does offer a range of opportunities for personal and professional development. So when I started 2 years ago, my first job was to put a bit more structure to the current Business Ambassador Programme that was in place. So I've just made a kind of list of the key stages that I put in. So we do have an application process. There's a single sheet application form that the employee has to fill in January of each year. This has to be signed by themselves and by their manager. So there has to be manager approval, because of course they are volunteering on top of their normal workload. So they have to be able to demonstrate time management skills, etc. Once we've got that approval, I then take them through a little bit of induction training. That's just generally to show them the resources that we have available, the type of activity that we'll be running, and sort of a general overview of what an in-house STEM event would look like. So they're normally half days for the younger children. Then I would invite them down, if they haven't already, to observe an internal STEM event in our learning centre, and then after that the next step would be to get them to sign up for a couple of STEM events to come and support them. They'll probably be led by myself, and then what I've been doing is developing a number of leaders to deliver the events now, or co-deliver aspects of the events. So gradually we'll have a team of people that will be able to deliver. Then also I send out a monthly update. It normally has the metrics on, a calendar for sign up, and I also email out regularly any shout outs from schools and colleges, etc. I also then organise supporting external careers events and STEM events, but we are quite selective about what we do support. I think this was touched upon earlier, that it is about reaching the right careers event. So you want something that's got structure and value, where they're just not milling around and they're there because they have to be there. We tend to go for the ones that are quite specific, and that we know that they've got a genuine interest in engineering, manufacturing. And then I keep a track of all of this support. So I keep a spreadsheet of the business ambassadors, who they've worked with, where they've been, how many hours they supported, and all their training that they've possibly participated in as well. And then annually I tend to write a report which I share with the business ambassador team, and also provide to senior management so they can see what we've been up to and hopefully the impact that we've had. So just to give you an example of that, this was my overview for the end of 2019. So the number here is the number of interactions, individual interactions that we've had between us as a team. These are the list of academic institutions that we managed to make links with. So we worked right from a pupil referral unit, the homeschooling network, the North East Autism Society, and then a range of institutions, higher level, primary, secondary, and also we worked with the armed forces and their cadets a bit as well. So we delivered a number of in-house and external STEM and careers events. These are the number of schools and colleges that I recorded our interactions with. And within that, we actually highlighted 15 students as potential talent for the future. And I am actually really happy to report that we took on 5 of those. So 5 of those that we identified actually made it through to the assessment centre. The group managers, etc., who were involved in the interviewing had no idea who'd we'd spotted versus who'd come through the sift. And 5 of them actually secure places, and they've just completed their year 1 now. And I keep a record of how many of the business ambassadors are active. And normally when I go and speak with them to see if there's a problem, if they haven't managed to be engaged, it's normally they've taken up a new post, or they're maybe doing some higher education themselves and they've just not managed to quite squeeze in the time. So in terms of training, so we don't have a fixed training program. What I tend to do is provide opportunities for training. So the first one that I took part in was with Trish Corner, actually, the mentoring program that she was running, and that was absolutely fantastic. We had about 5 or 6 of us who took part in that, which was really well supported. We all got some training on it, and there was fantastic resources as well to go with it. We've also been to RTC to collect some of their STEM resources. I've borrowed those, shared good practice and adapted them for Caterpillar's use, and then trained the business ambassadors in using those as well. We also work quite closely with Durham Education Business Partnership, so DEBP. They run a lot of STEM and careers events in schools and are looking for business ambassadors as volunteers. What Sally Johnson does is she comes in and she delivers a 2-hour induction, gives an overview of the range of activities, which can be My Teacher is a Vampire to goodness knows, you're hired, you're fired, but they're really, really worthwhile activities, and you do get to sort of get a good idea of the type of pupil, and they might come and chat with you if they're interested in your particular field. We've also worked with the Welding Institute. I've trained up some of our business ambassadors to be able to do chocolate welding. We've supported the Bring It On, with that. With the Welding Institute, and we're now able to take it out to schools or offer it in-house in the Learning Centre as well. I also organised some Lego Mindstorms training with Phil Ainsley from Robot Education, which Dawn Ross helped me set up that link. So we would like eventually to sort of develop more our use of Lego, and Phil came in and was able to show us what we could do with the kit we've currently got and what kit we would need for the future to expand, and he also sort of provided ideas for making lesson plans and activities for the future, which was great. And then more recently I've made links with the Learning Curve group. They've been doing really well in lockdown, but we have undertaken a level 2 in understanding children and young people's mental health, and I think 14 of the business ambassadors signed up for that online and have completed the level 2 course. So it's just about making opportunities available and then seeing who's interested in upskilling, if you like. So in terms of benefits, personal benefits of the programme, I think there's definitely the opportunity for professional development. It allows networking within the business. Obviously, we're a larger business, so you often meet people that you would not normally meet in your current role. So you get to meet different people from different departments. It raises your own profile as well. I think it helps promote your own self-brand. It needs approval, so there is that management engagement, and it is a volunteer role, so it helps to show your commitment to the business as well. In terms of personal development, I think it's communication skills, teamwork, presentation skills, leadership skills. It's that opportunity to develop perhaps slightly differently to what your normal role would be, particularly if you're on the assembly line or something like that. The knowledge transfer is an extremely rewarding experience. I think the standout moment for me was when we had the pupil referral unit in up at the quarry, and we had two young men who wouldn't get out of the trucks. They were absolutely fascinated being in the cabs, and they had absolutely no idea that you could drive trucks for a living. So those light bulb moments are really, really valuable as well. Obviously, in terms of the young person's talent pipeline, it's a great chance for spotting talent for the future. The younger the better, the more we can influence their thinking from primary school, as Jen was saying, upwards, the better chance we've got of recruiting longer term. And it gives a sense of belonging. It's a team, it's a community, it's that feel-good factor. Everybody, when they feed back, have enjoyed the experience, they get a lot from it themselves. It's also a great networking opportunity. It's a great way to meet people in other businesses, to hear what they're doing, and to hear what we're all trying to do together to bridge this STEM skills gap. It helps raise the company profile too. I was head of science for a long time in a secondary school in the Northeast, and it amazed me how many children did not know what was on their doorstep in terms of STEM opportunities. And we're talking big companies too, that they didn't even know Nissan, Caterpillar, Siemens were nearby. So it's very much about raising the profile of what we've got in the Northeast. And again, that continuous excitement, engaging for the future, trying to make that difference. In terms of business benefits, it obviously helps with staff engagement and motivation, which I think longer term helps with retention. It's very good for the internal talent pipeline because you are developing a range of skills outside of your normal role. As I said before, it helps raise the Northeast profile. Again, the brain drain is a big issue for the Northeast. We get them nicely qualified and then they head off down south because they think there are more and bigger opportunities down there. It's a chance to give back to the community, like I said, the corporate social responsibility, and to be involved in the young person's talent pipeline. And as Jen was saying, it's very much at the moment, we're trying to work with sort of early secondary school and top end primary to stop them being rigid in their thinking, to get that tunnel vision about what is available to them for the future. When we do little quizzes at the end with the youngsters in primary school, more girls put their hands up for wanting to be in engineering or manufacturing by the end of the session than boys. And yet obviously we're still not seeing that translated as we go through secondary. So it's trying to keep that level of interest throughout their academic career. And then, inspiring in STEM, looking at that skill shortage as well, longer term.